down the road from Independence. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane. quicklane.com/Valley Ford Truck. That's quicklane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
Sports Fix listeners, do you tweet? So do we. So tweet with us 24/7 at the Sports Fix CLE.
Business owners and professionals, do you want to take your business, your product, your team, your event to the next level? You want to advertise right here with the Sports Fix. Our listeners are among the most loyal listeners, terrestrial or internet. The Sports Fix universe is not only the radio show, but tens of thousands of fans on Facebook and Twitter. Email me, Jerry Myers, thesportsfix@AOL.com. That's thesportsfix@AOL.com. And let me help you swing for the fences and hit it out of the park right here on the Sports Fix.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Signs and Ship, the official printing source of the Sports Fix. Locations in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Florida. Find out more at signsandship.com.
News break.
Good morning, I'm Bob Picozzi. He's leading the National League in hitting, so it's never a surprise when Justin Morneau gets a hit. His double to lead off the eighth broke up Madison Bumgarner's perfect game last night in San Francisco. The Giants southpaw settled for a one-hitter and 13 strikeouts in a 3-0 win over Colorado.
It is a tough thing because you obviously know what's going on and your energy level's up. Especially at the time it was 2-0, so the game could change at any time, especially with a lineup like that one. So you just gotta make sure that you keep making pitches and move on.
The win keeps the Giants 5 games behind the Dodgers in the National League West. Anibal Sanchez's return to the Tigers rotation is being delayed. He felt pain on his final pitch in yesterday's throw session. Sanchez has been on the disabled list since August 9th with a pectoral strain. The recipient of the blow to the head doesn't think a suspension was warranted. Baltimore's Torrey Smith says he disagrees with the NFL's decision to suspend Washington safety Brandon Merriweather for 2 games for the hit last weekend. Day 3 at the U.S. Open, play beginning in 30 minutes. Live coverage will get underway at 1 Eastern Time on ESPN.
Sports Center on ESPN Radio is brought to you by the full juicy flavor of Johnsonville sausage. Visit johnsonville.com for affordable recipes perfect for game time or anytime. Johnsonville, served with pride since 1945.
Now, back to the Sports Fix.
Welcome to the Sports Fix as we roll on across the Sports Fix Radio Network. A big, not only the usual Hump Day edition of the show, big news day as Josh Gordon, we broke it live on the air, scooped the world. If you were listening to the Sports Fix, you heard it before Sports Center had it, before Adam Schefter tweeted it. You had it first, live, right here on the air. My man John McMullen broke it. Josh Gordon suspended. It is upheld. The full 12-month, the 16-game suspension, and that's it. 2014 wiped out for Josh Gordon. I didn't have it in front of me when we were talking about it. John McMullen had made reference a couple of times there to the statement that Josh Gordon made. I've got it here as I pull it up in front of me now. I'd like to apologize to my teammates, coaches, the Cleveland Browns organization, and our fans. I'm very disappointed that the NFL and its hearing office didn't exercise better discretion and judgment in my case. That is not the way to gain favor with the league. I will say that. Basically, what he said is, I'm disappointed that you got it wrong. I would like to sincerely thank the people who have been incredibly supportive of me during this challenging time. My family, my agent, my union, my legal team, and the Cleveland Browns staff. I don't know, you kind of could have thanked the fans that have been behind you through the whole thing too, but hey, whatever, man. And now, we mentioned it with John McMullen, legal ramifications, who knows if he goes that way, but John's got a great point. Courts don't like overturning things that groups of people decided were fair and equitable rules. So I don't think he's going to find himself a lot of hope. I mean, hey, we talked about all the delicious legal possibilities of Donald Sterling, too. At the end of the day, They stayed out of it. He lost his team, and it's done is done. They washed their hands of it. And I don't know if there's legal relief to be had, but even if there is, John had a great point. Even if there is legal an injunction and you can go out there and play for now, it's delaying the inevitable. It's delaying the end game. You are not going to get a court to overturn the suspension. You may get a court to give you an injunction while you file an appeal or something like that, but it's not going to happen. It's not a personal agreement. I see Vashon in the chat room. It's a collectively bargained agreement between two negotiating parties. Courts do not like to step on that unless it's just so far beyond the scope of what can be agreed upon. And I just don't think that this is the case to make that happen. This is especially now, if you had a guy who had a pristine track record and then he wanted to go make this argument, I mean, obviously it wouldn't have been to this level anyway, but that's different. But at the end of the day, a court is to agree with this leg of your argument. These legs don't stand up, so therefore I'm not getting involved in this. This is some collective bargaining. This is arbitration stuff. This is why you use an independent arbitrator, not the courts. So I don't think it works out well for him either way. We'll see, though. Rosenhaus is definitely the kind of guy to go sue the league. Hey, guys, phone lines aren't open. John was just with us. Dan Wismar is joining us now. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. Email us, TheSportsFix@AOL.com. I'm going to go to the phones, kind of pick right back up there. My man, Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan. Dan, how you doing this Wednesday afternoon?
Doing great, J-Rock. Congratulations, by the way, on breaking the Gordon story with Mr. McMullen. I was able to listen to his segment, and that was very cool. Congrats for that.
I didn't do it.
I guess
did, but
my only comment on the whole Gordon thing is I wonder if Josh really is making that statement with a straight face, questioning someone else's discretion and judgment. I don't know. It just seems a little bit out of place, but a little bit ironic, you might say, that Josh Gordon has something to say about the discretion and judgment of another party.
Exactly.
And not too much about his own lack of those things.
And I agree with John with what he said about that. I don't know if that's necessarily the statement that I would have put out there, but it is what it is. What do you think? You heard me kind of talk about it. Do you think he tries to legally go after the league? I just don't know if it's a good idea.
I certainly hope not. I would hope right now for some contrition and for some silence and for some work at dealing with whatever his issues are. I'm not a person who believes that there's any such thing as an addiction, a physical addiction to marijuana. So I think it's really just discretion and judgment that he was lacking, not, character, willpower, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not talking about that preaching from some ivory tower. I'm a child of the 70s myself, but it's, I would hope for back off, Josh. Don't do things, say things even if you don't mean them that will ingratiate you with the NFL, because they have your life and your earnings power in their hands, and swallow a little piece of humble pie, Josh. Shut up, show some contrition, accept this punishment, work hard to be ready a year from now, and let's see if we can have a football career. That would be my feeling on it. I would like to just not hear anything from Drew Rosenhaus or any attorneys on Gordon's behalf. Suck it up. Let's see if we can play in 2015.
That's it. And I'm with you 100%. During the break, I looked up, man, we know because we watch the games each and every week. You don't need statistics to point out what you see on the field, the difference between the rest of the wide receivers and what Josh Gordon brought last year to the Browns. But, man, I'm looking at, some quantified statistics and going, man, this is like one of those bar graphs where one bar is really, really high and the other one is really, really small. You can't get more blatant than some of these numbers. Check this out. Offensively, the Browns, just looking at the difference in the games that he played and he didn't, they scored 14 points more a game in the games that he was in there. His receiving yards, totaled 600 more than the rest of the team put together. He had 11, almost 1,200 yards more than the number 2 guy. Now, okay, so that shows a difference, but check this out. The rest of the Browns wide receivers, if you just took Josh Gordon out, they totaled 1,029 yards receiving last year. As an individual, they would have ranked 24th in the league, meaning there were 23 people who had more yards than the combined total of every wide receiver on the Browns, not named Josh Gordon. Gordon had 38% of the Browns receiving yards. That was the second highest total in all of the NFL. When quarterbacks on the Browns threw to Josh Gordon, they averaged almost 11 yards per target, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. When throwing to everybody else, they averaged 5 yards a pass, 17 touchdowns, and 18 interceptions. Josh Gordon had 14 30-yard plays. The entire rest of the Browns team had 11. I mean, that really sums it up right there.
Yeah, it does, and it's just next man up. I've got to believe, though, that the Browns' problem with Gordon's domination would be less pronounced if they had Tom Brady back, a big, strong-armed, established NFL quarterback to deliver the ball. You can pick up guys, and you could deal with, Miles Austin and Andrew Hawkins and a collection of 2 or 3 other people that you could cobble together to form a legitimate, or at least an average to slightly below average NFL receiving core that could produce, if you had, on the other hand, that big blue chip quarterback that could deliver the ball to them. Unfortunately, the Browns have neither of those things now, and that's just going to make the lack of a Gordon seem even more pronounced than it might be on a team with an established QB.
Yeah, going to be hey, look, man, like you said, I know, but I agree with John, too. Normally the term is next man up, but that's, a little different. And I will throw this out there. I mean, look, this is not to diminish Josh Gordon. I just pointed out all of the big statistics, but I will also say that, how do I say this? Because I'm not trying to. He is still head and shoulders above any other wide receiver, not only that we've got on the team, but against a lot of them in the league. Same point, though. A lot of those statistics he gained were late game statistics. They were empty stats for the sake of stats, but they were piled up late in games. I don't know, like not all of them, but enough of his statistics were like that to where if you look at his targets, he was so far and away the only person at the end of the season that the quarterbacks could even throw the ball towards and get a chance for them to make a reception. That I do think it kind of skews how important, I can't say it like that because he's hugely important to the offense, but it skews those statistics that I just gave because that wasn't all because of the talent level of the other guys. It was because of the extreme dependence on Josh Gordon.
Yeah, that's true, and the counterpoint would be true as well, though, that Josh Gordon was at many times the only threat on the field that other teams and defenses had to worry about, and still he put up unbelievable statistics in 13 or 14 games, not 16, when he was literally just about the only weapon in the absence of any running game whatsoever that opposing defensive coordinators had to work with, and he still was able to dominate, which just shows just how talented the kid is. So anyway, bottom line, it's college football season, J-Rock,
That is true. That is true, man.
Tonight, there's a game on if you want to watch it.
You're right. For some reason I was thinking
Thursday. Abilene Christian and Georgia State. It's not exactly Alabama Auburn, but
hey, it's the kickoff of the season.
It's the first game of the season, and then tomorrow there's about 12 more games. So
yeah, and then it's on.
It's all getting rolling
now, heading into the holiday weekend and college. That is a segue right into talking about the Buckeyes a bit. Already had not the Braxton Miller incident, as I'm referring to it, happened, had things not changed in the last couple of weeks, there was already a lot of interest in this season with the playoff, with Urban Meyer. This is really the first year, and we've kind of touched on this a little bit leading up to it, where his hand was was all over this team. I think he had what of the